It's time for the Drugless Doctor. Call a friend or family member now and let them benefit from today's exciting and life-changing program. If you want to lead a healthier life, the time is now.
Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Dr. Anthony, and Dr. Kaysen DeMaria. We'd like to welcome you once again to another episode of The Drugless Doctor. What we're going to be talking about with you today is a very serious health challenge that so many people have, but they don't necessarily know what to do about it. And you're going to be wondering, why are you as chiropractors discussing PCOS? You're going to say, what is PCOS? Well, PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. What does that mean? That means that literally there are cysts that happen to grow on your ovaries. Women have ovaries and men have testicles. The ovaries are located inside of the body. And I've been practicing since 1978, and I've been married since 1976, and I've learned so much with my relationship with my wife and so many women that come into the practice because they have questions about what's going on inside of their bodies. And then we start making appropriate and necessary lifestyle changes, including improving thyroid function, which we're going to talk about, and their ovary pain was going away. And hormonally, their headaches were getting better. And some of them were getting pregnant. So we knew that we were on to something. So this program today could make a huge difference. If you're sitting there right now and you've tried to get pregnant, you've done in vitro more than one time, and you've not had success, and or you may have become pregnant and have had a miscarriage. So these are some of the areas that we're going to focus and we're going to discuss with you. We'll have posted on the screen for you the cover of Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones. You'd be very wise to obtain this book, actually read the book, and follow some of the principles that we talk in there. See, it's not about us, it's natural principles. If you put your hand on a fire, it's going to get burned. Well, there are areas in your lifestyle right now that are adding to a lot of complications in your body that are creating polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you know somebody that's not been able to get pregnant or stay pregnant, it'd be really wise for you to contact them now and or go to the internet and go to our channel, which is Drugless Doctors, and learn a little bit more. Dr. Anthony.
Now, we have a lot of women that come and see us, and we also have a lot of women that tell their friends and their family about us because they have an inability to get pregnant. And I believe the running joke is there's something in the water at our office because there are lots of ladies that will get pregnant as a result of starting care. Now, besides working with PCOS and infertility, there's a spinal chiropractic component of what we're going to be talking about as well. If you have no idea how the body works, it's very, very simple. Brain sits in the skull, continues as the spinal cord. Off the spinal cord comes nerves. Well, the brain controls everything in the body, literally everything. You could have spinal instability or misalignment, which we call subluxation, in your body as a result of slips, falls, traumas, foods, thoughts, and toxins that cause your body to go out of position. Now, when we start working with balancing someone's pelvis and allowing their body to find the optimum position and allowing the right messages to be sent to the ovaries, the brain creates the environment for allowing a lady to get pregnant. So it's really, really important when we work with individuals to not only work with them nutritionally, but chiropractically. Now, one of the great things about this is Dr. Kaysen and myself are the two chiropractors in the Cleveland area that are advanced certified in pregnancy and pediatrics. So we see a large amount of pregnant ladies and kids in our office. And we also really help a tremendous amount of ladies get pregnant. And many of them are frustrated because they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on procedures that are just covering up what's going on inside their body. But the true fact of the matter is we got to get the brain, the master control system of the body, working like it's supposed to, followed up with some appropriate questioning, because there could be scenarios that you're creating in your life that are making it unfavorable for your body to even have a pregnancy. So chiropractic care, the right messages between the brain and the body are so vitally important for someone that's either infertile or has PCOS. Dr. Kaysen, what do you got for us?
I'm thinking about one of my favorite stories of one of our members, and she came into our office. She was having headaches, and we started working with her brain and her spinal cord. She had already had children. She's in her 40s, and she started getting adjusted. And with her specifically, we were working on her lower spine here. These nerves, guess where they go to? They go to the uterus and the ovaries. Her spine was really shifted and those nerves were being compressed. So one day this young lady came into our office and she said, Dr. Kaysen, you would never believe it. She said, I thought I was going through menopause and I went to have an assessment done and I thought she was going to tell me it was that phase of life because my cycle, it just had stopped and I'm pregnant. And she said, my husband and I, we haven't been doing anything different in the last 10 years, except I've started getting my chiropractic adjustments. And she now has her new baby, a complete surprise and blessing to her. But this is one of the stories I share with our women in our office. And when we start working with them chiropractically, if this is in the plans for you, you want to, don't be surprised, but if it's not in the plans for you, you want to make sure that you have a strategy to help protect you. I had another woman come into our office as well, and she said, I didn't think it would happen this soon after getting adjusted that I would get pregnant. And I know that was one of my goals, but I've been trying for years to get pregnant. So these are some of the exciting stories that we see in our office, and you'll see kids running around and moms, and it's all about supporting normal brain and spinal cord function. Now, we're going to talk about some things also as far as toxins and other nutrients that we help to support the body. But number one, we want to make sure that the brain is sending all those healthy messages so that when it's that time of ovulation and you're working on getting pregnant, that your body can support the baby with producing all the right hormones and also with the normal growth, because we want you to be a healthy pregnant mom, go full term, and not have any of the other challenges that maybe you're reading about or you're hearing about your friends complaining about, because all these things are body signals of really telling us what's going on with that health of the baby, but also the pregnant mom. Dr. Bob.
If you were to go to Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones and go to chapter 10, that's where we talk about the communication aspect of what's going on. And we've been talking a lot about the nervous system, so we'll have posted on the screen for you also what we call the autonomic nervous system chart. So you'll be able to look, even as I'm speaking right now, at that chart, and you can see where the brain is sending messages down. If you go to the bottom of that chart, you can see the nerves go to the genitalia and to the organs in the body. Now, bringing it back down to the planet, you can see, looking at me right now, as I have a liver or an oil filter in my hand. Well, that liver or the oil filter is located right here in your body. And if that liver is plugged up for whatever reason, and commonly it's fruit, by the way, fruit can cause a fatty liver, your body's not able to process that extra estrogen. And a lot of times we'll find individuals that might have some challenges getting pregnant and staying pregnant because they have too much estrogen and not enough progesterone. So I know in a moment or two we're going to be going to a break, but I'm just going to start this process. The nerves from around the middle part of your lower back, around the first lumbar, impact your liver and your gallbladder mechanism. And what we have learned over time, they also impact your ovaries. So I just want you to listen to me. I'm going to talk you through this. You may be a female that has a headache in 1 month. So let's just say you have a headache in July. But then you don't have a headache in August. But then you get a headache again in September. And then you don't have a headache. And then you get another headache again in November. And you go to talk to your healthcare provider, and he kind of scratches his head and just kind of looks at you and say, hey, take a pain pill when you have a headache. But that's important knowledge. That's very important conversation that we have in our practice, because you're frustrated. You get a headache. Why did I get a headache this month and not the next month? Well, if you go to chapter 10 of the book, you'll see that the nervous system sends nerves to those ovaries. And if that ovary that you have in your body is creating some tenderness, we call that Mittelschmerz, we know that you could have an ovarian issue. And that 1 month that you have the headache, your ovary might not be making enough progesterone to balance the estrogen, and that's why you have a headache. That's important knowledge to Dr. Bob, Dr. Anthony, and Dr. Kaysen. So why doesn't the ovary work properly? Well, one of the areas that, and we'll talk about this in great detail the next segment, is you may not have enough iodine. We can do a test tube called the urine iodine loading test and be very specific on the amount of iodine you have in your body. You don't want to have and roll the dice or do a ready, fire, aim and start taking something and going to a health food store and start self-medicating yourself. Iodine is a little known, very important item that helps promote optimal hormonal health. What takes iodine out of your body? Did you take a shower this morning? Bromine, fluorine, and chlorine is antagonistic to iodine. So when we're finished with the segment today, go to your favorite search engine and look up halide, H-A-L-I-D-E. Bromine, fluorine, and chlorine antagonize iodine. And we have been so blessed to learn so many of these little secrets that if you help supplement your body accordingly, so maybe do a lot of swimming, or maybe you have a hot tub. That swimming in that hot tub kicks the iodine out of your body so your ovaries aren't going to work. I know it sounds so simple and you're elbowing the person next to you saying, hey, he's talking about you. Maybe we need to do X, Y, and Z. So it's important information. We're going to take a very short break. We're going to be right back and we're going to go into some detail about all the different nutrients and how it can make a difference in your life. I'm a chiropractor because my goal, my passion is to help people get better without medication.
There's different types of chiropractic. I wanted to be involved in something that was bigger than myself.
I would say it's been so much more than just seeing those lives transform. It's been being able to be a part of their transformation.
Wellness is a state of mental, social, and physical well-being.
Really, wellness is from the inside out, being able to have your body make the decisions on its own, naturally, without drugs, medications, or surgeries.
We work and strive at addressing each one of those different facets of wellness so that it's really a well-rounded overall approach for an individual.
I think the atmosphere is really very welcoming. I think all three really work well together as a team.
It's much more than you would find somewhere else. The individuality of it, the recommendations, the doctor's expertise.
We do not use a cookie cutter plan. Every person that comes into our office is very unique, and they have specific plans and treatment protocols specific for their findings.
Utilizing our innovative tools and technology, we're able to get the best results and faster, and it's really easy on the practice member, specifically with the thermal scans that we do. By measuring the ambient skin temperature, we're able to measure from each assessment how the pattern's changing.
We offer digital video fluoroscopy, motion films of a person's spine, getting right to the root cause.
From someone that was previously diagnosed with ADHD and was having developmental delays in speech, working with them here and seeing the transformation of them developmentally, other things, attention span, energy, colic, all these things that are improving over a period of time.
So whether it's a little baby that's getting adjusted for the first time, or a mom that's getting adjusted, or an athlete, it's really cool to see what we're able to do and how that can impact their life for the long term.
The two things, chiropractic care and nutrition, go hand in hand, and you really need both components. You can't just say, I'll do whatever I want nutritionally and then just have chiropractic care and Dr. Bob will just fix me. Really, you have to have both going together.
In our wellness store, we offer a variety of different products. They're all professional lines and products that are tried and true. We have many different types of evaluations and assessments that can tell us what supplement is going to be best for one of our practice members here in the office, so that we're just not throwing the dice when it comes to their health.
The Drugless Doctors is very forward-thinking. It's a lot different than anything else that I had ever seen before, so I felt like I was learning something new.
We have information on social media, our website, our blog. We do TV programs, so we're always putting out good quality information, because more often than not I hear from somebody, I never knew that. Or I got that information from a magazine or a TV program, and I never really knew that that wasn't correct.
So being able to give them simple tools and natural principles that they can be able to empower themselves to make every day, that's really, it's really exciting for me to be able to see people and their changed lifestyles.
Come and join us and participate with natural drugless chiropractic care. Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Dr. Anthony, and Dr. Kaysen DeMaria. I'd like to welcome you once again to the second segment of The Drugless Doctor. We've been talking about infertility, we've been talking about PCOS, and maybe that you've spoken to your endocrinologist or your healthcare provider, and maybe they suggested a drug called metformin, which is really interesting about the Western approach to PCOS and infertility. It's about a drug. But, you know, not being able to get pregnant is not a drug deficiency. So metformin is actually a medication that was designed for people who are diabetics or pre-diabetic to take away inflammation. As chiropractors, we don't have a license to take people off of medication, but I have a degree in human biology, and I was actually trained to think. And what I want you to do now is I want you to listen to how we're going to explain something to you about the significance of iodine. So I have two iodine products for you to take a look at right now. We have an iodine product that happens to be a tablet, and it has 12 milligrams of iodine in it. And we also have a liquid iodine. So let me talk to you about these for a moment. You just don't want to go to the health food store and start taking iodine, because if you have too much bromine, fluorine, and chlorine in your body, and you start taking iodine excessively, it could kick it out, and you could get a headache, a rash, skin problems, nausea, and a few other not fun items. And so what will happen is you'll get kind of angry because you start taking iodine and you think, I'm feeling worse. No, it's not so much you're feeling worse. Your body is actually trying to get rid of the toxins. So first thing is that we encourage our practice members to have a urine iodine loading test, or if nothing else, have at least a TSH, a T3, and a T4. T4 is important to us. We want your T4 to be at about number 8. On the lab range. If it's less than that, we supplement accordingly. We encourage our practice members to take at least a half of iodozyme, that happens to be a very excellent product, for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then afterwards, what's going to happen is you can start taking 1 iodozyme a day. Now, we had a liquid iodine on the screen that I'd like you to just be aware of. This is something that is so significant that we've been taking and using in our practice the last year or so, is if you have cyst on your breast, you could put a drop of liquid iodine on each breast and massage it in, and you could also put a drop of iodine in your lower abdomen for your ovaries. We have seen phenomenal body signal results by adding liquid iodine to breast tissue and ovaries. Because see, iodine is important for the thyroid gland, the breast, the ovaries, and in men for their testicles. So we've seen breast cysts go away. We've seen thyroid gland function improve. So these nutrients that we are sharing with you, these ideas, they're very innovative. But what's really phenomenal is that they work. And that's the most important thing, is for us to help diffuse that frustration that you're dealing with and take you to the next level of wellness. Dr. Anthony.
Now, one of the things that's also very common with individuals that have PCOS or infertility is that they have low vitamin D levels. It's really important that you get your vitamin D checked at least once a year, because I would say about 8 out of 10 individuals that we have that have their vitamin D checked is either low or below normal limits. So we use a liquid iodine in our office. It's called Biodemulsion Forte. The liquid vitamin D is important because the liquid is easily absorbable. One of the simple ways to do this is to put 1 to 2 drops of this on your tongue in order to achieve an optimal vitamin D level. One of the other products that we use is also something called Cytozyme O. Cytozyme O is bovine ovarian tissue. Before we were talking about how the ovaries need to have the right messages between the brain and the body chiropractically, but it might also need to be supported with some of its own tissue. Now, what's really interesting when it comes to individuals that have PCOS, just like Dr. Bob was talking about metformin and how the Western medicine tries to use that product for a sugar thing, it's really important for those that have PCOS or struggle with infertility to work on getting rid of the source of sugar in their life. So what are some sources of sugar? Is going to be carbohydrates. Other things that they could be passionately addicted to, fruit and or dairy. All of those that are going to turn to sugar in your body. So fruit, carbs, dairy, if you are passionately addicted to those and you have a hard time getting pregnant, it's time to make some changes. Just like we were talking about earlier, between chiropractic care and allowing optimal function between the brain and the body, supporting your body with nutrients, it's really, really important on the way to having an optimum pregnancy. Now, another area that we commonly see is thyroid. We were talking a little bit about that before. If someone has a hard time getting pregnant, we also recommend that they work at getting a thyroid panel. I have so many times someone comes in and they had a provider just do a TSH or just do a T4 or just do a T3, but they didn't get a look at the whole picture. So when we work with our individuals, we work with an entire outlook of the thyroid, TSH, T4, T3, in order to promote better function in the body. Dr. Kaysen, what do you got for us?
Also, when we're talking about PCOS, and if you just joined us, basically PCOS is when you're not ovulating and you're having an irregularity during that month cycle. And we were talking about infertility, but also we were talking about thyroid challenges. But some of the other symptoms that you might be having would be your menstrual cycle is irregular. So whether it is absent or it's not consistent. Another thing that we're seeing is if you have an increase with facial hair, and we do see this a lot with women coming into our office and they have acne or facial hair that is coming up, that could also be an indicator that you could be experiencing some PCOS symptoms. Another thing also would be, we were talking about sugar, and one of the biggest things and lifestyle changes that we see with PCOS is people that are having a poor diet. And if you are having a poor diet, then your liver is not functioning at 100%. Your liver has over 500 functions in the body. So you want to make sure that you are continually working on cleaning up the liver. And some of those products that we use in our practice, if you were to look right in front of me here, we have Livitrit, which is essential for working on supporting the liver, and it has beet in it. And also BioB complex, which your liver needs B vitamins to work on processing it, but you want to work on getting rid of estrogen in the body. And as we're going through and talking more about some other tips that you could be doing, it's taking these small steps and looking for these areas that you want to really work on. And over time, if your goal is to get pregnant and working with your nervous system and nutrients, we are confident whatever you have heard or done before, this is a different approach, and we're coming up with an action plan to get to the root cause of what's really going on inside your body to help you have a happy and a healthy pregnancy. Dr. Bob.
You know, we have so much information we want to give to you. And once again, I know that you might be sitting there hoping and praying, and this is an answer to a prayer right now. And Dr. Kaysen made some really important points about those B vitamins. So if you have chronic tender breasts, that's once again a body signal to us that your liver's not processing the estrogen. And probably one of the main reasons that women actually get liver cancer, and we have so many healthy or hormonal challenges, excessive liver. So a very significant product is calcium D-glucarate. Calcium D-glucarate helps your body and your liver process the overabundance of estrogen, which is literally everywhere,